Hello everyone, and welcome to our Facebook Live. Let me make sure we are live in the group. There we go. I'm loving the way it looks. Everything looks great so far. So we are experimenting in a whole new world right now. So let me think. I'm trying to decide like if I'm happy with where the camera is right now. Let me go ahead and pin a few things to the bottom, although it says it's supposed to do it automatically now. Hang tight. Let's see if this works. Hi Elizabeth. Hang tight. And we can still pin. Okay, so I am seeing it there twice. It just automatically did it, which is weird. So go figure. So today we're going to be working on a sunflower wreath. So we did this one in orange, and I had to wait until I got all the supplies in because I really wanted to see this in yellow with maybe a different center. So we're gonna take a look and see how this goes. But before we get started, if you want to save this tutorial and you're on Facebook, all you have to do is hit the share button down below, and that'll share this to your page where you can have access to this tutorial as many times as you like. If you are on YouTube, you're gonna wanna click the save button, and that'll save this tutorial to however you have your files set up to save on your video. Some people put them in folders. Some people just kind of like stack it as it comes. Also, to get notified. So if you're on Facebook users right now, make sure that you have done both. You have clicked like and you are following this page. I believe the follow button is easy enough to find. It's the like button that's hidden now. And that can be found by clicking the three little dots off to the side, and then it'll open up a sub menu where it'll say turn live notifications on. You want to make sure that that is turned on, and then should you have your phone handy, it should show you when we go live. I have also pinned the link to my website down below where you can sign up to be in the private group. And we've got just a handful of days left in the month of April before the prices go up. So if you guys have been on the fence about deciding whether or not you want to join, you'll want to join now instead of waiting until May. Because if you join now, you get both groups for one price. And if you wait till after May, it goes up. So everything else I think is good to go. I'm going to walk you through all the things. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. Hi Bridget, hello from Indiana. So if you guys are a first-time viewer, let me know. I have heated up my wood burning tool because we're going to cover all the things about working with the Poly Burlap Mesh. So, hi Teresa. She said, I almost missed you tonight. Was out shopping. Hello, everyone. Well, I'm so glad that you're joining us. Okay, so we're going to do a demo on how to cut our poly burlap. So let me go through all the supplies first, and then we'll do the demo because logically that's like how it makes sense. You're going to need 6-inch zip ties. You're going to need a cord or a hanger for your wreath. I'm using this braided cord from Michaels. You're going to need a 15.5-inch large Unique in the Creek flower board, and I'll go over the placement of the zip ties when we get ready to put that together. So you can get this at Craft Outlet. I believe they sell them at Hobby Lobby now. You can get them at Unique in the Creek at their website, uniqueinthecreek.com. That's all the places that I know of off the top of my head. If you guys have suggestions of where you have found them, go ahead and list that in the comments below. You're going to need Poly Burlap Mesh in both yellow because we're doing the yellow sunflower and then in the green. So you're going to need 72, that's right, 72 10-inch by 10-inch pieces of your yellow poly burlap, but you will only need 3 10-inch by 10-inch pieces of the green. So keeping in mind that should you actually get the true 36 36 pieces out of a 30-foot roll or a 10-yard roll, you will only need 2 full for the yellow. However, in the past, I have had it come up to where I don't get 36 out of here. It comes up short. So it's always good to have a backup roll just in case. Both of these you can purchase through craftoutlet.com. It's online. Anybody can order from them. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut our 10-inch deco mesh pieces. So with the wood burning tool, you can see it's kind of got a knife blade. It's called a chisel tip on the end, and you'll need a glass cutting board. So you can get these at like Walmart, Target. They don't have to be very big. I think mine is a 12 by 15. It does have a textured side on one side, but as you can see, when I lay this down, I can still see all my markings. So I want to line up the edge of my glass on the 10 inches for my cutting mat. And then I'm going to stretch this out. So if I know that this is on the 10-inch line, then by the time I come up here to my 20-inch, I should have a perfect 10-inch piece. So here is my 20-inch, and I'm just going to take my wood burning tool, and I'm just going to go right down the center. And that is exactly how easy it is to cut a piece of poly burlap with your wood burning tool. So it's super simple. Find a line, stay in it. It's like a car in the lane on a freeway. Whichever one you pick, stay in it all the way to the bottom. So using the wood burning tool helps to melt the ends, but it is not 100% on preventing frays. So you're going to want the method that we're going to use tonight to fold these pieces should contain any frays that we might happen to have. So that is how you cut your wood burning tool. Hey Sandra, welcome. Hi Tanika. Hi Cheryl. Long time no here. Hi Linda. Facebook must be fixed. No, Facebook has decided to just play the most ruthless game ever. So you know that I haven't gone live from the front. We're kind of doing this off to the side. Facebook has now decided that it will no longer allow any person to use a third-party app to like Venmo, like Vimeo, StreamYard, Mevo. Anybody who uses an app or gets an outside camera, Logitech, you can no longer use those on Facebook when you're going live. So Facebook drew a hard line in the sand. And so a lot of people are trying to scramble because basically when I ran this by Mevo's customer support, Mevo's suggestion, go to YouTube. That doesn't help my problem. Basically what I've gotten from Mevo is, so you're selling me a product that can no longer work where you originally said it could. So I'm hoping that Mevo will come out with something, a workaround solution, but for now, I'm going live off of my iPhone. So that's exactly what you're seeing right now. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I am showing you how we are doing the Unique in the Creek large board. The easiest way to do it is to show you on the back. So it is there was row numbers in here. I think it's on this side. Yes. This is row 1, which we're not going to use. Row 2 is the next one in, and as you can see, I am using every single hole. So I've used the single, but also shared a hole. So every single one of these has its own zip tie. So it is, I'm trying to think. I think it's 32 of row 2. We're doing the same thing on row 3. We're doing same holes, there's 24. And then down here on this last row, we're using 16 shared holes and regular holes. So you're gonna use an awful lot of zip ties. Now, before we get started, we have to add our hanger. And it's interesting because I'm kind of looking at this one and it's not as clear cut for the hanger portion. I guess it's gonna be up here. Normally I see them a lot closer. So I'm gonna use this as the top. I'm gonna take my braided cord, oops, push those over. I'm gonna go, I'm trying to think how I do this. I think it's up and down. It's down and up. I always have to think this through. So here is how I'm going to get my hanger. You can just use a regular zip tie as well. We're just going to create a hanger. So I'm going right over left, left over right. You can see it's already starting to try to unravel. So I'm going to try to pull all that through so we can curb that from happening. Nice and tight. Here's our hanger now. We're good to go. If you want to keep this from raveling all the way, you can take the end of your glue gun and just kind of tack these just lightly. You can twist them like so, and then they won't unroll anymore. Don't quite have one on that. There we go. I have it super hot, so I don't like really want to grab onto that. Should have put it on low, but there we go. Nice and tight. So there's our hanger. We are all set. Let's show you how to make the petals. Super simple. I use zip ties because I find that the rubber bands have a tendency to degrade over time, and I don't want them to come loose. I want to kind of create a really good strong product. So here's our 10 by 10 inch piece of poly burlap. I have the finished edge up here. These are where I've cut on the sides. I'm now going to pivot it on an angle. Push that up. I'm going to go from this corner to the bottom corner. And if you've cut these 10 by 10, you'll notice that your folds almost line up perfectly. So I'm going to hold with my thumb here. I'm going to hold up here. I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to bring it up to the top. So I'm going to pay careful attention right here on the edge. And so now you have what's called your Star Trek petal, right? From here, here's our point. It's kind of off. It's actually a little bit closer to this side than that side. So I find that if I do this and find the perfect middle, right? That's right where my point is. And I just grab this and just kind of pull those together. And then I'm gonna do the same on this side. I'm gonna pull, and what you end up having is like this little scoop, just like that. Now, once you have your scoop, I'm gonna take my zip tie and I'm just zip tying it right at the base down here. I'm gonna snip the end off, and I'm going to hold, and then I'm going to cut off everything that isn't past my thumb. So I'm using my thumb as a guide so that you have these little, I call them like little fish. That's what they look like a deca mesh fish. So you've got the openings here on the right side and the folded side on the left. So that is your petal. So we'll do it one more time. So finished edge, tilt it, put that one over there. We're gonna go from the top to the bottom. And if yours don't line up, it's probably because you don't have a 10 by 10 inch piece. If they're just slightly off, you'll notice that they won't really match. So we're going, hold the bottom, hold the top corner. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and fold. I'm going to look for my true middle, which is right here, right at my point. And then I'm going to grab and pull, grab and pull. And sometimes I like to make them pretty uniform, so if they're just slightly off, I'll just make a slight adjustment on one side. I'm going to zip tie it right here at the base. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to hold right here at the bottom where my petals are, and I'm going to use my thumb length to determine how much of that deca mesh am I cutting off. And that's all you have to do for the petal. Let's see. I know, Linda says trust Facebook makes it hard for everyone. And even Lynn says Facebook's driving me nuts. Yeah, I don't know what's going to end up happening there. I'm hoping at some point it'll just get remedied. And I think what happened, because I just noticed this slight change in Facebook lately, is it says, like if I want to comment, it says use Meta AI, and I'm like, no, I want to use my own voice to comment. So I think that's what they've done. So somehow maybe that doesn't talk to its third-party apps, is big question mark. So now I'm going to take, and we're going to put these in every single one, and I'm making sure that my zip tie goes beyond this zip tie on the board. So just like this, nice and tight. Whoop. I'm going to go ahead and trim these off as I go. So we've got nice little scoops that are on here. So we are putting them in every single one. Now, most of the sunflower wreaths that I have seen only have 24 petals to the outside. This one I think is going to have 36. It's either 36 or 32. We'll count them. So far we've got 2. And here's all my, whatchamacallit, the edges. Last time I did it, somebody's like, well, your edges aren't exactly perfect. You have some of your edges on one side or some on the other. And you can tell sometimes my petals are a little bit bigger than others. And that's okay, because sunflowers don't always have 100% perfect petals. But you're going to see how fast this goes together. I think I spent the first 2 hours of my day prepping all the petals so that you don't have to watch me put them all in. But I do like to rotate those tips so that when we get ready to lay the subsequent pieces on top, they lay flush. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch of these, and we're tucking them in. So you can see that the way that these petals are formed, we should not have any frays happening, which would be really great. Because all the frays are contained. And I like these little tips because they help cover the gray on that board. Just like so. Again, push all your little tips. If you're using zip ties, just push those flat. There's this one. So by me using the zip ties, now when I go to pull my petals, there's no way they're going to slide past because I've created a barrier that prevents that from happening. Okay, there's that. Yeah, there's that one. Oops, see, totally forgot this one. I had that one left over from last time. So I'm trying to make sure that all of my tips match up really nice. This should go fairly quickly. Always making sure that they're flat. Like sometimes I'm not paying attention and they kind of turn sideways. So make sure your scoops are up. And we'll grab another set. You can see how quickly that goes. Okay. Do you guys have any questions I can answer for you while we are working, while you guys are watching me build this? Sometimes you just need to create the scoop a little more if they want to be a little bit more flat. Just see, I'm always trying to flatten those out so you can create your own little scoop inside. And I'm trying to make them to where your sunflowers, each petal has its own moment in the sun. Okay. So then I can say, officially, I have the traditional yellow in the book for the tutorial. I think these would look amazing if you got the cream color and use that really gorgeous brown center for this. I think it would look absolutely stunning. Okay. So grand total of 72 petals are required for this method, which is using every hole on, I think it's, what did we say, row number 2? Not the outside one, but the one just in. There we go. And we'll grab another set. Thank goodness for having those pre-made, right? I don't think you're going to watch me do that 72 times. Unless you were using this for a sleep therapy video and you just wanted somebody to talk until you fell asleep. Then it'd be a really long video. Trying to get the one out of the way that is in the way. Okay. And when I did the orange one sold out really super quick. It was gone the next day. So I'm gonna love this one because I love sunflowers. I just planted these in my garden. The mammoth size, the ones that get to be like, oh, I don't know, 6 feet tall. I did it as a barrier to help my chickens in the summer. Trying to get this one up. There we go. So that they'll have a little bit of shade this summer in our garden space, because they don't have any trees out there in their neck of the woods, at least not where it's going to cast summer sun. So, and the benefit is that the birds will all benefit from the sunflower seeds. So you can see how quick this all goes once you have everything pre-prepped. Once you made all your petals, once you wired your board, then it's just a matter of putting everything together. So last two on the outside. Okay, there's that one. And our inside. So this makes the detailed person inside of me very happy to have like precision on the cuts, precision on the petals. Everything looks amazing on the outside thus far. Okay, so I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 32. 32 for the outside. Now there's going to be 24 to the inside. So now we're just going up one row and we're going to do the same technique. We're just going to lay these right over the top to create that second layer. Sometimes you just got to move things out of the way. So this is where having those zip ties turned to the side will help, because then everything goes to the side and then these will lay directly on top of the others. Okay. So you can see I can cinch this down pretty good. But now you understand where we were adding that thumb length for cutting those tails off, because that is about the gap space that you have. And so these are kind of fitting right in between the ones on the top. They're filling in that extra level. And I just had to turn that one so I can make sure I can get my zip tie down tight enough. Back underneath. Again, push everything down to the side. And these are all gonna have the openings. The doubles are all gonna be to the right of each petal. Don't want to snip the one before it. Okay, grab another set. And we're going to keep on going. Elizabeth, I love using the Unique and the Creek boards. It's so much easier to make wreaths with the flower petals. Yes, I love it. You know, I love that somebody took a wreath maker's dilemma. You know, you could use the Dollar Tree frame, but it's going to be a lot more challenging. This just ends up delivering a really good, I'm trying to get my zip tie out from underneath. The finished product looks amazing because it's got a flushed look on the back of the door. So everything is smooth on the back side. You can't see any of the mechanics, which is always super important for me in design. I want the illusion to be there to where I think, you know, the question I want is how'd they make that? How'd they pull that off? What did they do? Whoop. Okay. Trying to get that one to go down. I just didn't want to ratchet down. Wasn't listening to a little zip zip. Ooh, that one is a little too big. That would definitely stick out on our next one. Don't know why that one was quite so big. And we'll add this. And you'll see how simple it is, but then it turns out a beautiful, beautiful product in the end. And then you can create whatever you want to be the centerpiece. You could make your own center. You could take a small sign and include that in the center. Like, I would probably go with like a 6-inch sign. I wouldn't go with anything bigger than that, because it's just gonna cover your petals. Let's get rid of these. Grab our next set. Okay. Trying to grab my little piece that's underneath. Here it is. So see, we're containing the phrase, all these, not going to come loose. I'm going to pull this up, make sure that one's off to the side for the next one. Okay. Oops. I'm going to tuck this in. So again, push and make sure all your ends go flat. I think we've got 3 pieces left. Now we've got 2 and then 1. And then we work on our last and final row, which is the last, I want to say it's, is it 8? No, it might be 16. I'll have to think about that. It might be 16. I think it was 36, 24, and 18 is how it went. And it's hard to imagine, wow, that many on the inside. But look at how gorgeous this is. And the way that those look, the way that they lay is very like how a sunflower would be. Okay, so let's go ahead and secure our final pieces in here. These are going right to the center. You're gonna see these are again gonna overlap those sections that were there. I'm just going to make sure that I can pull my, they like to get stuck way underneath. So I'm always trying to make sure those little tabs are facing up, because it just makes it so much easier to lay those pieces in. And they're all going to fit nice and snug. So there are some people who do, like I said, make them, but with less petals in them. You know, like they might only do 8 in the center, then maybe 16 on the outside. But I like this really full look for this particular design. One needs to get turned because the petal is just slightly off to the side. There we go. Push them all back. Okay, tuck back in. And I'm all about trying to find, as you get closer to the center, it gets harder, you know, to manage all those zip ties, especially the shared ones. But I'm confident you can make it happen. Okay, we're going back under. Always trying to make sure. I'm like, hey, did I go a little long on that piece or not? I think we're good because we're filling up the inside. So I'm just lifting those up so that I know right where these are going. So like I said, if you're interested in purchasing this, it is available on my website at the link below. Okay, so always make sure you've got your scoop. And we have one. Oop. I'm looking at this one. I'm like, why does this one only show a single? I'm not seeing the other side. So let me go under. There it is. There we go. That one came loose. So we're going to go ahead and put another zip tie in that shared hole. So we're going to go down and then back up. And we'll get that ready for our other piece. And sometimes it happens, even when you load your board, you might get a defective zip tie. We have 2 more pieces, so I'm going to show you one more time how to create the petal, which is super simple, 10" by 10" piece of poly burlap. I'll set this over here. So we're going finished edge at the top and the bottom, turn it to a pivot, top corner to bottom corner. Make your triangle, hold at the bottom with your thumb, and up here, we're going to pick up this corner and place it on this corner. And then here's your Star Trek petal. We're going to fold this because we want to make sure that our petal is settled. Then we're going to grab the outside pieces and pull those in. Sometimes, like I said, I have to just rearrange them so they look more even, because if you notice, the Star Trek petal is heavier on one side than the other. And we'll snip that off. 1 thumb's length is the only part of the tail you'll need. So this one's ready. So again, finished edges, turn it to the side, top to the bottom. And then we're going to go corner to corner, making sure I've got a nice fold there. We want to make sure we know where the center is, so that's why I'm grabbing this top. So now grab and grab again, grab in the center, and then grab to the end. So right now it's going to look a little heavy on this side. And that's where I'll just lift this up and just pull that corner down so that I have more uniform shape. And then zip tie right at the base. Oop. Nice and tight. And then 1 thumb's length, cut the excess pieces off. So our last 2 are ready to go. We know exactly where those are going. We have one going right in here. Nice and tight. Last piece in, right in here. It's a snug fit. Trying to get that last piece in there. Go ahead and snip that off. And look at how gorgeous that is. I would even find if you had a nice bowl in here, like it would just be a nice serving tray too. That being said, what we are going to do next is I am going to flip this over. We're going to add the leaves and then we're going to focus on the center. So flipping this over, this is what I'm saying, nice smooth back, gorgeous look here. So with the leaves, I only do a set of 3 leaves. Again, those are a 10 by 10. I'm gonna prep my holes. So I'm going to go, I'm gonna put the tips in. I'm gonna try to get these to go under the board. So I need to make sure though that they're the right way. So same thing, right? Finished edge at the top. We're gonna do this against the way that it rolls. We're gonna turn it on its side and we're gonna go from the bottom and you're just going to gather just like that. You're going to pull one over the top of the other. And this is what's gonna go under that board. And so I want the flowers, the way they bubble, to be this way. So we are going to attempt, it's really difficult to get that in under the board. So I'm gonna try to go under the board. Where's my zip tie? Kind of lost it, it went the other way. Gonna kind of try to get it to go around. Oop. Gonna try to pull this in. We're gonna get this to come nice and tight. I'm gonna trim this off and I'm gonna take that edge and I'm gonna push it to the underside of my board. Just like that. So that when I flip it over, there is our set of leaves. That was a challenge. Let me tell you, that was no easy task. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one probably here and then one about here. So let's put this one in. So I am doing it to where the end is out here. We're gonna do another leaf. Remember, it's going against the way it rolls, corner to corner. We're gonna gather straight up the center. We're gonna bend. And that little loop right there is what I'm attempting to zip tie. So that it's like this on the underside. And I'm trying to get the zip tie to tighten closer to the underside of the board so it's easier for me to push that side under. Of course it falls to the floor. Okay, whoop, get that to go under that edge. Flip it over. There's the other set. And then the last one, we said it was going to be down here. So again, put the end in, just like that. Going against the curl, we're going corner to corner, bend it, because you want just a little edge. That's what we're attempting to stuff under the board. We're going to feed that through. I'm just like really trying to do it from the front side, so I keep pushing the end under the board. Second time. It knows no bounds. So I like doing a trio of leaves instead of, and you could put leaves all the way around if you want. Now we are ready to add in our center. So 2 different centers that you can use. This one is the 7-inch brown. So let me show you what this looks like. And you can get these on Craft Outlet if they're still available. This is the brown 7-inch center. You can put that in the center. Okay, that is an option you have. Now the way that these are right now, these are still storm door friendly. You could also add this one, which is a little bit beefier, but it's the one that I want. When I add that, let me look. I'm just curious. I'm trying to look. We're still there. We're at 3.5 inches. So we're going to use this one, the traditional sunflower one. So the back of this one has a little knob in it. I'm going to go ahead and take that out. Let's go ahead and take this off. And this is, for dimension's sake, this is 6.5 inches. We are going to grab some floral pins. So, floral pins and some floral wire. You could use a pipe cleaner. It doesn't matter. This is just to hold this to the center of our wreath. Cat in her pliers. Cutters that just want to find a home on the floor. I don't know why. So this is 22 gauge floral wire. I'm going to flip this over. On the back, I want to find where the center is. So I'm going to kind of put that in a little V shape so that I know that I have equal amounts on either side. And I'm going to use a floral pin, which are just these little pins. You can get these at Hobby Lobby, Joann's, or Michael's. I'm going to put this in at an angle, just like that. I'm going to place another one in at the same angle, opposite way. There's a little groove that'll hold that to the bottom. We're going to take our hot glue, and we're going to place our hot glue on the floral pins. And I'm also going to lay that right on the center of the wire. You can also buy them like I do. I think there's 1,000 2-inch floral pins. And then we are going to cut out a piece of felt for to cover that, just to reinforce the center. So let's go ahead. I'm going to use this one right here. Just black felt. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be even. Nobody's going to see it. It's just to reinforce what we've got going on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, just for extra safety purposes, we're going to see if we can try to get this one in. Last time it didn't want to go in. It just doesn't like to go in through the felt. Okay, let's try doing this. Sometimes our pins are, they don't have the sharp points in the ends. So sometimes we have to help them so that it'll make it in sideways. And you saw just by me doing that, I gave them new points. It's right here. I also do these with straight pins that are longer than what I need for my ribbon. I just cut them at an angle. And we're going to do the same thing here. Just to hold our felt in place. Seriously, it's overkill, but why not? And then, looking at our flowered center, where do you suppose we're going to put the wire? In those holes right there. So we are going to take our floral wire, we're going to guide it down into those 2 holes, and we're going to pull it to where that now is nice and snug. I'm going to flip it over so you can see what I'm doing very carefully. So now I am just going to, over 1 hole, I'm just going to twist. Then we are going to, where did I put, oh, I put my pliers back. I'm going to trim this off, the excess. I'm going to get my needle nose pliers. I'm going to take this and I am going to redirect that back into that center, right down into that hole. There we go. And on the back, just in case the customer needs to know where did they purchase that from, we're going to add our business card. So that's just going to sit over that end. Here's our straight up and down. We want to make sure that sits right flush on there so that they know exactly where they got that from. And flipping this back over, there is our beautiful, beautiful sunflower. Now you could, let's see, trying to see, do I have any? You could put a butterfly on the end or on the center. So you could take and put a butterfly on here. So you could go orange, you can go green, you could do blue, you could do whatever you would like. You could make it however you would like it. You could also, I don't think I have any bees in here. Let me look. I have hummingbirds and rabbits. I don't have any bees, but I kind of like the monarchs a little bit better. So, trying to find one that looks, there we go. So we can simply take a little butterfly, or you can take the bigger butterflies if you want. Like these ones were from Hobby Lobby. Believe it or not, they were on clearance for 74 cents for 2. And I like these ones because they look a little bit more like a butterfly. So, and these ones also have the wings that you can pose. So just like that, you have a super simple, gorgeous wreath for summer / into fall. What other questions could I possibly answer for you if you have any questions thus far? So that is the way that it hangs. I will get pictures of this and I will post the pictures on the Facebook page in a little bit. Any other questions you guys have that I could answer for you that I haven't already answered? Making sure you guys can all see this. It's gonna go to replay. Karen, great question. She said, what petal is that? I don't know. I don't know the petals by name. I just know like this would be the sunflower petal. But then there's other people who use it as, you know, like the leaves. They did their sunflowers with the giant leaf petal type thing. So I don't know the specific name of it. Lynn, it is a Unique in the Creek board. It's the large flower board. It's the 15.5. Okay, well, that's all the question, or that's all the information I have for you guys today. I guess Star Trek it is, but then we modify it. So the Star Trek is just like once we have it in that position, and then we do that weird little fold. It's like a weird little tuck to do that. So I know where the Star Trek is, but then we're modifying it. So I think it's a modified Star Trek petal. Okay, everyone. Well, thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you real soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.